Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 2 of Open the Mind. I'm your host, Jalen. For those who are new, welcome. Appreciate you guys for tuning in with us. And for those who are familiar, hey, welcome back. This is another episode. I'm your host, but I also got my co-host who here with me, my brother Q. Bro, how you feeling today?
Bro, I'm cool. Like I said, like you just said, episode two. Um, Kind of crazy though, because I feel like I want to like do these drones more often. Like, I
Yeah,
wish we could do these drones more often. But glad to bring you guys an episode at least once a month. Like I said, depending on the months, we might be able to get two in, but for the most part, it's like once a month. And the cool thing about that is we're able to like do other stuff, like right, because as you guys know, we got the reading. Um, we got other pods, and at the end of the day, we have life. So the once a month, once every like 6 weeks or so, kind of gives us a chance to live, and it also helps us bring a better conversation to these guys. So welcome to episode two, and I'm excited to be back, bro. Let's do it.
no, that's a fact. That's a fact. Nah, great point though. Like it kind of allows you to kind of live your life so you can kind of come back with something. Almost like you can kind of gain better experience to kind of create better conversation just for everybody that's tuning in. But special week, for everybody involved. It's Valentine's Day weekend. This Saturday coming up.
Word.
So this is a special edition episode. On top of it just being episode 2, this is our Valentine's Day edition. A lot of things to talk about that we can tap into on the subject of love. We're also going to do a quick recap about the book that we've been reading. If y'all haven't, please make sure that you guys is tapping in. Please make sure that y'all is tapping in. And if you aren't, this is why we're here. This is why we're here to provide this to you and give you better insight on just what we're reading and what we're doing to help apply what we're reading into our daily life. But before we get into our special edition for the Valentine's Day episode, I'm gonna let you go ahead and take over, and we're gonna get into more of the productivity mindset.
Yes, sir. So you guys already know, like we just said, for February, we are doing the productivity mindset. Great read, right? Um, Very short read. If you guys don't have the book, you guys can kind of see how thin it is. Um, to be honest, I could have finished the book a long time ago, but we're also taking our time, and there's no rush, right? I think the biggest thing about this book thus far, and I'm gonna get right into it because it's kind of is the first topic that we have, which is outside of reading the book, like what are we actually taking from the book and applying it to real life, right? So just like I said, I could have easily blew by this book. Let's see, this book officially is 125 pages. That could be
Yeah,
read in a day, 2 days, depending on how you're a reader, right? But the beautiful about taking our time, and again, if you guys aren't plugging into the socials, obviously plug into the Open the Mind social. Right, every time we have a book, we're gonna break it down. But the beautiful about thing about breaking it down, and the beautiful thing about this pod is, you get the chance to apply those things to life, right?
right.
So that will be our first topic here, for us thus far. What have you read from the book, and how are you applying it from the book? I mean, what do you that you're taking from the book and applying it to real life? So I'll start with myself. Uh, and this conversation we had behind scenes. It's about a little bit more just like organization, right? Getting up in the morning, having more of a routine, and kind of instead of just rolling out of bed, making and starting your day with more structure, which allows your day to feel more productive at the end of the day, right? So obviously, it kind of play on the actual title, the productivity mindset. Is waking up in the morning time, schedule out your day, even the night before, you know, like right now, I would be, yo, what do I have to do tomorrow? Okay, I have to do X, Y, and Z. And then in the morning time, not only do I have my plan for the day, then I am kind of not just going so freely. I'm also starting the day with making a bed and doing those. But it to me, it isn't like making a bed just to make it. It's kind of like, nah, I want this joint to be as fresh as possible. I want everything to be like clean. That way, when I come back home, like I come home to a like it's like that hotel feel. Like niggas love
Yeah,
hotels, and because it's a fresh bed, it's fresh sheets, blah blah. So it's kind of like doing that same thing, but the luxury of it is you're at home, right? So I would say, yeah, I've already been making my bed, already been doing that stuff, but I think doing it with intention rather than just doing it because, oh, I got to do it that way, I can move on to the next thing means a lot different. And like I said, just writing those things down and planning my day, which is kind of going with how, if you guys remember in the last episode, I said that in 2026 I didn't come into the 2026 with a bunch of plans, right? I didn't come into it with a bunch of like, oh, like I got to do all this stuff this year. Oh, it's January 1st, I need to do X. I need to do all this shit, right? So
Right.
now that I don't have that, but having this type of day to day, in the long run, I can see how it benefits like certain goals and certain aspects, or just like trying new things, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's one thing that's like really, really huge out this book. And something else that really stands out, that I'm applying to life, out of this drawing, is just there's a certain passage in there that talks about adding fun into activities, right? So even the activities that you don't like, even the activities that you avoid, how can you add fun into those activities, right? And the way I started doing those things is like this perfect example. Like reading is one of those things that's hard to stay consistent with. Like you might sit down with a
Yeah.
book, and you might read one, two, three, four, 5 chapters, and you be like, oh yeah, I just read, I feel good, and then it turns into that, oh well, I'll just read tomorrow. I just read 5 chapters. Oh, I'll
Mm-hmm.
just read tomorrow. I just read five chapters. And then, oh, I just read tomorrow. I'll just read tomorrow. Turns into 2 and 3 weeks that you haven't read because you
Mm-hmm.
think you're okay because you went to chapter 5. So
Right.
like, again, going back to the section in this book where it's like adding fun into those things. It's like not only do I read the book and apply it, I also have fun because I come on here and I'm able to speak on it. You know, I got a brother like Jalen that holds me accountable to it. I have you guys that watch the pod that kind of hold me accountable to where I can actually post and not be like, oh well, I'm not making this shit up. Like I actually read the book. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Something that quote unquote might not be fun. And I don't want everybody to take that in like the most positive way because it can be anything. It doesn't have to be reading. It can be almost anything. Like start adding fun, some type of fun, no matter what it is. Like start adding fun to it, and it might turn out. There's a part that says something like, if you add fun, if you like create your list of things you want to do, reverse it, right? So put the stuff that you really love to do at the bottom and put the stuff that you really don't want to do at the top.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll find yourself getting through that because you, rather than flipping it, and now you're spending all this time on this shit, and then again it goes right back to what I just said. Now you're pushing off that one thing that you really hate, that you really don't want to do, but you really should have did it already. You know what I'm saying? So those are a few things that I would say so far that I applied from the book. But what about you?
No, I can agree, bro. Same thing. It's just um the structure is the main thing that like it kind of like tells, and it's almost like the book gives you like a build up because it's like
Word.
chapter one ties into chapter two, chapter two ties into chapter three. Um, so far, at least from what I've been able to read, for me, it's like I feel like when I don't have a planned day, or when I'm just kind of living my life like just kind of freely, and I don't really have a idea of what I'm going to do next, it creates like that scatterbrain. A lot of my thoughts are all over the place, and I'm just thinking about whatever comes to mind at first. So again, like those fun tasks can probably be put first, and those important tasks can kind of be put last. That's where like the prioritizing your task portion of the book was very important to me because it kind of lets you know in a way that you have to be able to have a order of importance.
Yes. Word.
Giving yourself the time to really dedicate what you're doing, and also in the laziness trap or that chapter, at least for chapter two. um Dang, for chapter two, it stated it was like, dang, I'm gonna miss it. I'm gonna miss it because it was, damn. Hold on, let me get right back to it because it said prioritize your important tasks, but then it said do. Dang, I'm a little. I gotta go back in the book real quick, bro.
All good. It's all good.
Yeah, give me 1 minute. Sorry, y'all. Purpose. That's what it was. So like, it was the finding purpose in what you do, because if you have lack of purpose, then that's going to create lack of motivation. My fault. That's exactly what it was. when you prioritize your tasks, you kind of find a purpose in what you're going to do for your day. So kind of waking up in that next day, knowing exactly what I planned out from my day before, it kind of wakes me up with a purpose to have something to do
Yes.
moving forward.
Right.
So
Right.
that was what it was. Dang, I don't know why it took me so long to find that, but I just kind of had a brain fog. But yeah. So like that's kind of what it helped me with. So even with like you've always heard like making your bed when you first wake up in the day because it kind of sets the tone for everything. You hear about it, but you don't always do it. So after reading it, it was just like, all right, like let me just try. And bro, like literally, like I'll wake up, I'll probably just fluff my pillows, throw my blanket over, but I started to actually
Right.
like make my bed. I'm smoothing
Right.
it out because I don't want no wrinkles in it,
Right.
and like I'm waking up
Right.
earlier just to see how that's gonna go, and it makes me feel better to start my day because now I'm laying my clothes out for what I'm going to wear the next day. I already got my meal for the morning for what I'm going to eat, so I already got like breakfast planned out or something. So now I'm starting my day with true intention instead of just waking up like, oh shit,
Word.
all right, well, what I got
100%.
to do now? No, like
Yeah.
I know what I got to do because I already premeditated this thing. Um, but yeah, that was a big one for me because I know that there's times for myself that I really just wake up and I just be trying to thug it.
Yeah.
Whatever I got on my mind, whatever I think is important to me today, then that's what's gonna get done. Typically, it's like main thing is just going to work, going to the gym, coming back home.
Right.
No, like what am I doing in between that? Like what are the little nuances in my day that can help me improve and do better? And that's kind of what this book is kind of shaping me to understand is like even just reading it, like setting time out to read this book is giving me a task to do. It's giving me something to do because it's going to add value at a later time. I may not see it today, but at least if I read every other day, like how I've been doing, then okay, cool. This is going to help me 2 months or 3 months down the line because I'm building a sense of consistency within my habits that's going to help, create a better structure for what I can do in my routine.
For sure. For sure. And that's perfect because I don't even. Also, we have as a topic what's your favorite passage, but you kind of already said it. What I'm saying, that was one of your favorite passages as far as just that whole laziness and building that routine. I would also like to add, at least for me, and if you want to tap into it, you can. At least for me, was the chapter segment. I'm not sure what segment chapter it was, but it was about tapping into the flow state and
Yeah.
tapping into it was about tapping into the flow state and tapping into that. Excuse me, I got a little nasal drawn for the fans. Tapping into like that. I forget the like I know what the flow state is prior to this, but like the way they explained it was just like so easy. It was just like, tapping into that like focus to where there's no distractions to where like
Mhm.
your productivity is at peak, right? So that's
Yeah.
what the flow state is. Even if you guys haven't ever heard of it, is that it's pretty much like peak performance. It's like think of a kid that, they're at a park or something, and you might have called them, "Hey, hey, come, hey, it's time to go," but they just literally not listening to you, and they're just running, laughing, having fun, until you like really have to get loud or really have to go get them. They're in a flow
Mhm.
state, right? They're in a
It's
flow
like
state where,
it's a
like,
trance. It's like a trance.
right, it's almost like a trance.
Yeah.
It's at a point where your their focus is so high, and for a kid, at least for the example, their productivity is them just running. Their productivity is them jumping and swinging and stuff like that. So they're in such a high a flow state that they're not even looking, hearing, no nothing, right? So I kind of bring that into my life when it comes to creativity, right? Coming into the business and hopping into that flow state. Like, how do I, if I have, my kids here and I have to cook dinner and I have to clean but how do I still tap into that flow state and get the shit I need done for my business, right? So that's like huge for me. So again, even already prior knowing what flow state is before even reading this, like this kind of reminding, it's kind of one of those things like, hey, I already knew how to do this, but then when you hear it again, it's like, oh yeah, like I do be
Mhm.
doing this sometimes, right? So
Yeah.
that was really really tough. Um, but great book thus far. If you
Yeah.
guys don't know already, again we post on the gram. But Jalen is actually in charge of what books that we read. So great pull from him. And I'll pass it to him actually just to announce our March book. Because again, as you guys already know, we do this every month. So go ahead and give the fans, or whoever that's listening, what are we tapping into for March?
Nah, for sure. So we know February is a quick month. We thankfully we got a quick read to kind of get through, and just set the tone for what we want to do for the pod. But going into March, since we were reading about the productivity mindset, felt like it was going to be a great book to kind of just like set a great standard as far as just how we want to kind of kick this year off, as far as just productivity, as far as just routine, mindset, and everything. So we're going to go further into that, and we're going to read Atomic Habits for March. Um, don't know too much about Atomic Habits, but I've heard a lot about it as far as just people that have read it and people that have told me about it. So yeah, that's the next month's book. Definitely looking forward to it because I've been thinking about reading it for some time now. Brought it up to Q and he thought it was a perfect idea. So now, this month is February. It's based around productivity, it's based around mindset, based around structure. March is going to be fueled around building like those productive, hopefully great habits that we can, create going forward in 2026. So really excited about that book.
Yeah, and before we move on, again, that is the Atomic Habits by James Clear. So I don't know how many Atomic Habit titles are out there, but the one that we're specifically reading is by James Clear. But yeah, that will be our March book. But hey, this is why we tell you guys to tap in with us early, because we don't want to be in October, November, and you talking to us about productivity mindset. Like, nah,
Yeah,
gang, we mad books in.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so hey,
But
get up. Go ahead.
my fault. I didn't even mean to cut you off, but it's still, if you haven't read it, it's bro. It's look at this jump. Like, just look at it. It's a small book. Like, you could really finish this in like a week. It's not really that bad. The only reason why I'm not as far in it is just because I like to give myself time to process what I'm reading. I'm a little slow, so that's really it.
Right, right, right. And again, that goes
Yeah,
back to what I was saying about, what I'm saying, taking our time and breaking it down by the chapters. Me personally, I'm a fast reader, so like I said, I could have been finished this the first week, but I'm taking my time. Like even now, I'm already on chapter 8, so like I'm already
hey,
in next
there you
week.
go,
I'm already
bro,
in next
bro.
week.
Yeah, see, look, bro, already headed the whole schedule, man.
It's the
But
flow state, bro. I'm telling you, when I pick up something and I love the way it like. Shout out to, if you guys don't know, it's a book author. His name is Don Miguel Ruiz. He actually has a brother as well.
yes,
Great author. Like the way they
bro,
write their books, real easy, real like. And granted, I can read more.
simple.
Yeah, I can read more difficult
Yeah.
books with bigger words. I mean, that's not the issue. What I'm saying is just those books like that just speak to you. Like they just resonate, and you can apply what they like. Like I always say all the time. Still to this day, my favorite book is by Don Miguel Ruiz. It's called The Mastery of Love. That is still no pun on today's episode, but that's like that I wish I could get up and get it because it's literally right there. But that book is just so cohesive. It's straight to the point. It gives you examples that's straight to the point. Like I don't. Sometimes you don't need 40 chapters just for you to understand one little
Mm-mm.
thing, right? So,
No.
yeah. So like he said, 123 pages. Go ahead and tap in. We got Atomic Habits by James Clear, starting in March. But you ain't going nowhere if you didn't subscribe to the channel. So go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and like the video. We appreciate it. And again, share with us your thoughts. If you're reading it, do you like it? If you already read it, did you like it? Do you have any book recommendations for us? We're taking it all. So
For sure.
yeah,
Pause.
yeah, not a pause. We're
Pause.
mature on Open the Mind. So moving forward. Again, this is a Valentine's Day episode. So yeah, we're gonna get into the topic of love, and that's a huge, huge topic, right? So there's so much things to
Right.
talk about. So we're gonna pass it right back to Jalen. So let's get into it.
Nah, for sure. So yes, Valentine's Day weekend. So we all know that love is in the air. Love is everywhere. Love is on social media. You see it in your favorite TV shows. You see it in every which way that kind of comes around you, especially during this type of season, in the month of February, or at least for the first 2 weeks of February. But we kind of want to tap in a little bit deeper into that because love isn't always about gifts, it isn't about dates or just, captions or what you see on people's Instagram stories. Of course, You do want to be able to show up for the person that you have in your life. You want to be able to show up for your person, but it's also about showing up for yourself. And also kind of talk. We want to tap into the intention of love and how we can grow up from it. So this episode isn't about perfect relationships. Me myself, currently I'm single. Q, he's in a relationship, but this is why we're here because we. I mean, my
I'm
fault,
joking.
bro.
I'm
But it's
joking. I'm joking.
all right.
It's on the gram. It's on everything. You know.
Yeah, what I'm saying, like, but regardless, like saying that though is just being able to provide insight, not only just because we're talking about Valentine's Day or it's specific around that, because everybody has their own different experience when it comes to love. Everybody has their own experience when it comes to just what they've gone through. And it's just, we're going to talk about love, mistakes, maybe even just the communication that we have going through it and what, you actually may be needing from people or from a person. But Q, just to kind of tap into that a little bit more, I want to know what love exactly means to you, bro.
Yeah, bro. So it's a tough word or emotion to have a conversation on because there's so many levels to it, right? So, you know, the love I have for my partner is not the same love I have for my dad, right? It's not the same love I have for you. It's not the same love that I have for a childhood friend, right? And because there's different levels, and within the love comes, whatever you get out of it and whatever they get out of you, right? So I think overall, if I take all that into account, it'll be into like one big, I guess, like pot. The overall definition of love to me is just what are the feelings and safety that I get and provide in this bond, right? To me, that would be the love, right? So outside of love, what feelings am I getting out of this relationship? Am I happy or am I sad? Like, are we cool? Are we not cool? Like, is this somebody that's a provider or are they not a provider, right? And then that safety, because I think safety allows you to love, right? So
Hmm.
again, we can break that on, we can break that at every level, right? A parent, that's the provide. Like your parents provided for you. Like whether whoever that well, parents or guardian, whoever you had, they provided for you. So, they bust their butt for you. So like and they gave you that unconditional to where it's like you can't do any wrong to me. Like no
Hmm.
matter what, like you can go steal a car, like you're still my son. You can go steal a car or do whatever, you're still my daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like it's that unconditional love, right? But then you break it down to like a friendship level where it's like, yo, this is my dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? We have the conversations, we've had those talks, shit, with other personal, with other, I mean, with certain friendships, shit, niggas know, like, yo, your credit, you know what I'm saying? Niggas know finances, all that type of shit. Like, yo, I'm having
Hmm.
trouble here, I'm not having trouble. Like, you can call that person whatever. That's like a different type of love. And then you also have like the relationship, like your partner love, where it's like, hey, like this love is all that, but it's also building. Like, how do we like we're learning love languages? Like, I think like I mean, and this might be jumping too far, but like
It's all
love is also a communication to where it's like, hey, I gotta speak in mine, but I also have to speak in yours. You have to speak in mine, and then you also have to speak in yours, right? That's what makes a lot of relationships work. So overall, like I said, love is just it's a huge draw because I can also say the other side that love is also hate, right? So it's such a huge like dynamic to where uh, and that kind of goes. If you guys don't know where I pull that from, that kind of goes to shout out to season one of Open the Mind with Dre on here, and they were talking about anime, and there was a person on there. Oh, it's a show called Naruto, and there was a person on there that was talking about like, hey, without hate, without hate, there's no love. Without love, there's no hate. Like, but that is true though, because if you think of like your worst breakups, you loved that person at one point, and then it turned into hate, right?
yeah.
So, like I said,
The
it's
strongest
definitely
emotions.
right. So it's definitely such a large like like the definite. There's no like one like this is one of them Jones where it's like there's no right answer to it's whatever you feel like it is, right?
Yeah, and you tapped into it though perfectly as far as just like different levels of what love is or what it could be. Um, and again, everybody has their own definition. But I like the few points that you did bring up, because everything that you said, it ties into really what it is. Like, love is intention with consistency. You got love from your parents because they were intentional and they were consistent. You have love with your you have love for your friends because in some way, shape, or form, they're intentional and they're consistent. And it's the same way with your partner, or somebody that you're dating. Love also provides like that emotional safety, because I can only talk to the ones that I truly love about how I truly feel, like thoroughly, internally, what's going through my mind, what's on my heart, how do I feel about something. If I want to get vulnerable, if I want to really kind of tap into those like deep dark like secrets that I may have about just like what's going on in my life.
Right.
um Love also provides a sense of like like it's that uncomfortable like that uncomfortable communication, like the uncomfortable communicational guidelines. Like, I don't feel okay saying this, but I have to say this to you because I know that you can understand it and you're gonna get it. So like, in a simple way, like to me, like that's always what love, like in a eggshell is just, it is intentional, it is consistent, it is being comfortable with being uncomfortable in a sense, and it's accountable.
Yeah,
Love
for
it,
sure.
like love out of all things is accountable, because I love, like, the people that I love the most are gonna hold me accountable always, and
100%.
they can hold me accountable because they know, like, my capabilities, and they know exactly what I can do and what I should do,
1,000%.
even if I may not want to hear it, because you could probably tell me something, right? And a stranger on the street could tell me something, I'm going to react completely different to that stranger. I may like I may tell that person square up, versus you, like, you my boy, like, even like going to the gym with Charles, like, bro, we be talking to each other crazy in that jump, but it works out because it's like bro knows exactly like what limits he can push me to, and he knows exactly where I can go, and he knows what I'm bound to do. Versus if it was just somebody that I just randomly met and I'm going in there with, they say something, I'm like, yo, like, who is you talking to?
Right.
So it's definitely deeper as far as just your connection. It's deeper as far as your intention, but also too tying into just like what love may be to both of us. Do you think like most people are taught that, or do they just kind of figure it out as they go? Because I know that at an early age, you can, like, your parents can kind of like give you like a guideline on how to, but as we get older in our adult lives, like, how is that forming out for you, or how's that forming out for us?
That's a good drawing because I think that it changes over time, no matter what. Um, I think you might be taught a foundation, right? But then, like, depending on just like life, your definition might change, right? So, for example, like they always say, like, like sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, kind of like the most level-headed relationships are, two people that came from like a dual income household, or like two people in a household, right? And you grow up and you see like, hey, that's my mom and that's my dad. You see a happy marriage. You see marriage in the first place. Let's start there. You see marriage,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
outside of that, you see commitment. You see loyalty. You see teamwork. Um, so when you grow up, it's kind of like, hey, like you might make your small mistakes, but by the time you go to tie it down, like you're gonna find that partner that's on the same wave. Like, okay, I see this loyalty, I see this teamwork because this is the same teamwork and loyalty I seen my mom and dad grow up with, or whoever grew up with, right? So I think over time it changes, but I think you always have that base to whatever you started with, right? And this could be anybody, like whoever raised you, whatever, whoever like took care of you when you were younger. As you grow up, I think you still have that base, and depending on your base might depend on the outcome of what you do later in life, right? Because you also have people that maybe don't have the best base, and you see them doing wild shit, right?
That's a
Because
fact.
go back to, it's like, oh well, I didn't have this, I didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? Well, so I don't really know what loyalty is because I never was taught loyalty. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
grow up seeing loyalty, right? So I just think that it's definitely, I think it's definitely something that's taught to you, but it can definitely something, it can also change over time. But you always have a base, right?
Yeah,
You just always have a base.
absolutely. No, that's perfect example. To that too. I agree. Like it is definitely taught to you at a specific point in time because whatever the base is, like as far as just like who was raising you growing up and what you were able to see around you, that kind of shapes the idea of what you see love as, and even just affection. Like if your parents were affectionate versus non-affectionate, and how
Mm,
they show love to you and everything
that's
like that.
huge. That's
Yeah,
huge.
because I feel like for me, love was never a misunderstanding as far as just what it could be. It just became a lot more jaded as I got older because of just the experiences that I had. So
Yeah,
like, you know, you want to be able to love. Granted, I grew up single parent household, so it's like I never really seen nobody besides just my mom. Like just growing up, so like I'm not seeing that camaraderie. I'm not seeing that teamwork. I'm not seeing a relationship from that aspect. And of course, that's not to say that it was a bad thing because my mom still gave and showered me with 100% love and affection to where I can give that to somebody.
for sure.
So but and also in the same breath, even though like from a single parent household, I have like that mindset as far as just always looking for self. I did have grandparents that were married for 50 plus years, so it's
Ooh,
like
crazy.
so it's like seeing that or having that kind of gives you an idea that is tangible
Yes.
and that is doable and that you can actually make those things happen. So I definitely feel like as I got older, I was always looking for self. So I was, a little knucklehead when it came to just how I was doing things, being younger and going through relationships. And even I still have my mistakes that I've made, but I always knew what my end goal and what I wanted to be because I actually seen love in real time in little glimpse. Even though I wasn't young enough to understand it, I when I went to my mom's house, I was able to see her and my pop up, and they were, they had the kids, they had the grandkids, they have the family that was created that they built. So it's like, okay, if this is what I'm aiming for, how can I align myself now with those things that I'm looking to do? And that's where like you kind of have to have that realization with yourself, and it's definitely a conversation with you first because a lot of people get lost in the fact of how people treat them, and we're going to tie into that. So I'm not going to tap too much into it right now, but a lot of people get lost in just that fact, and it does get jaded as far as how you view love based on your experiences because you kind of lose sight because it's always just that like self protection that you want to have. But
That,
yeah.
and you
So
said something. No, no, no.
oh, no, go
Just,
ahead.
and that's the perfect thing. And that's exactly what I'm talking about because it's like you said something that was really, really, really key because it's exactly what I'm talking about. About you have a base, but it will evolve over time. It'll change, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I grew up half and half. So when I was a
Mm-hmm.
young boy, I had both. They did, they just went two different ways, and then I endured the single parent life, right? So I had both, but like you just said, like a word like affection. I had two people in a household, but I didn't see no affection. So to me, my affection when I got to different relationships was it was no affection. I was, hey, I'm doing X, Y, and Z. Like, what do you mean you want a hug right now? No. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean you want to kid? I'm good. Like, okay, like move on. Like, you know what I'm saying? But over
Mm-hmm.
time, that had to change because I had to understand, like, yo, that's the love language of the woman. Like, that's what she wants. This is what she needs at this time. Or overall, because it's not always at a specific time. That's just a womanly thing. They want to be loved. They want to be kissed. They want to be hugged. So overall, like that's something that I'm talking about. Like you could have a base, but that base over time can just change.
Mm-hmm. So that's and that's that. Damn. Like I never think again because you have different experiences, so you never really think of it like that. But I'm happy that you was able to even realize that though, bro. Because a lot of people they just kind of just grow up and they just thugging it and they just living like that just because. But even to kind of like uh tie this all in as far as just what love is, and even now for yourself. being in a relationship, and this question specifically for you. Um, like, what do you think people misunderstand the most about relationships, especially in this current time, right? Because it's pretty wild being single in 2026. You know what I'm saying? Like with social media and with how all these things get portrayed and how gender roles is viewed as and all that different stuff. You got red pill people and, women having higher standards considerably. Um, but like for you and what you have going on and just the relationship that you have, and even from your own experiences, what do you think, the biggest misunderstanding is from people?
My brother used to always say to me this all the time. He used to always tell me, comparison is the thief of joy, right? And I think it's a mixture of that, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think it's a mixture of maybe, I don't want to say goals and stuff like that because that's obvious. I want
Mm-hmm.
to say more so understanding, do you know who you're dealing with, right? I think a lot of times we get glued to the gram. We get glued to somebody's social media. Like, oh, they look like this. Oh, they do. You know what I'm saying? They look like this. They might cook. They might work out. Or oh, Shorty might always keep herself looking nice and blah blah blah. And then when you get with that person, it's more so you might move more. You might move quickly because you think you know so much off seeing on social media, right? And
Mm-hmm.
nowadays, as a male, hey, make her laugh, you could do whatever. So it's like when you put those things together, it's like, oh, okay, like I see your gram, I kind of already know you, and then I can make you laugh. We having a vibe, we having a good time. Well, yeah, let's start dating. And it's like, well, when some serious shit pop off, now you're like, who the fuck am I talking to? Like, what?
Yeah.
When you get into that first argument, it's like, who, what? This can't be the same person that I was just, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I think the understanding of who you're dating, that phase of getting to actually know somebody, the whole phase of like understand that when we get into an argument or something like that or something that we disagree on, instead of it being an argument, it's more so, okay, well, how do you feel about this? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
well, I feel like this about this. Okay, so what's the mutual ground that we can commonly meet at, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
none of that going on. It's too much. Oh, I'm over here and you're over there, and you don't love me or blah 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 because you don't want to come all the way over here. Well, I don't have to come all the way over there because I don't believe in everything that you're saying, or I don't believe in the actions that you did, or you don't want to stand. And this can go for either side. You're not
Mm-hmm.
accountable. Yeah, you might say that I hurt you, but you don't understand that when you said X, Y, and this, I was already feeling away because you already said that, and that run me crazy. Like, why are we not
Mm-hmm.
having those type of conversations? The conversations today are just, oh, well, yeah, like I like to shop and I like to do this and this, and oh, like we look good together, or everything is photable. Like, oh, like we look good in photos, or oh, we look good when we doing this, or oh, he got money or she got money, blah blah blah. It's like, okay, all that stuff is cool until it's time for to have real talks. All that shit is cool until it's time to have real conversations. All that shit is cool until the first argument pop out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think for me and where I'm at with my relationship, like we had all that. Like, and even the disagreements that we have today, it's that. It's like, hey, I don't like the way you did this. I don't, to me, I don't like the way you did that. Okay, well, I did this because of this, and you did that because of this. Okay, I can understand how what I said made you do this. Okay, well, I can say how what I said made you feel like this. Okay, well, where do we meet at now? That shit don't happen no more. Goes back to what I'm saying. That teamwork, that bond. Like, are you building a team, or are you just building a free agent? Because the free agent, the contract is shorter. Let's just be real. The free agent, the contract is shorter and the money's less. So if we're gonna if we're here for a good time, then we're here for a good time. But don't tell me that don't move like relationship stuff, don't do all that type of stuff. And then when it comes to having these bigger conversations, now it's like I tell anybody if shit hit the fan, and that could be anything, like even like a small disagreement, and all of a sudden like that person is out the window, you never really knew them in the first place.
Yeah.
You never knew them in the first place, bro. Like if me and you get into some argument and out of nowhere I just start saying some wild ass disrespectful shit to you, you never really knew me in the first place, right? Like
That's
the
a fact.
bond and shit wasn't really there in the first place.
Right.
So I think for overall, like that's what's missing. That and again, like I said, going back to the beginning, to tie that in, outside of that, comparisons is thief of joy. Too much social media. So it's cool to be on social media. I don't need to be on social media looking at damn. Well, Shorty got the curves and shit. Then I look up to my girl. I'm like, you're not built like this. So now I start building this subconscious resentment, or and then vice versa. Like she not looking at me like, well, damn, he don't got the Maserati outside. He don't got the Benz yet. Like I'm cool. No, like we dead ass have conversations about anything. Like and it's no judgment. Like it's so it's like you just gotta know your partner, know what you're in for, bro. Like and like I said, have that and then let that build. Like if you continue to look left, you continue to look right, you'll always find yourself on a different path. Always. Sometimes you just gotta look straight.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. And even just like like with all of that, I think that and not to get too specific into social media, but at least just like from like just personal experience, like it does kind of create like a perception or a false perception at least to where you don't really it starts to create a flawed perspective of you, things that you don't even know what you're looking for at that point. Like I can have a straightforward idea of like what I want and what I'm looking for, right? But then once I get on social media, once I get outside, once I start to see and view certain things, and my young ass is starting to experience some shit, then that's where like everything starts to kind of look blurry. So I start to lose my core values as far as what I'm looking for, and I start to look for it in the wrong. And I think uh that's a big miss for a lot of people, is that they don't really know themselves to even know what they want, or they don't take the time to know themselves to know what they want. Because in order for you to be able to even want somebody to bring anything to the table, you got to be able to bring that same exact thing. So,
Actually,
right.
I don't really agree with that. I think that I do agree with the side of bringing something to the table, but I also agree with I also like my own. And let me not say I don't agree with that because that's just your
No,
perspective.
you're
I
good.
think
You're good.
my perspective of it is if we have the built table and you're bringing the food, why do I need to bring more food? You get what I'm saying? Like if you're okay, if you're cooking, you're the cook, you do X, Y, and Z. What else can I do, right? So again, it goes back to that teamwork because it's like you look at people that live, you look at people that have their own home. It's like not that this stupid like 50-50 conversation, all that shit. It's like why do I want to see my partner in debt? That doesn't make sense.
Mm-mm.
Again, if part of the table is 50-50, then I'm eating at the table if that's what I agree with. You get what
Right.
I'm saying? Like I'm never
And
gonna
that's
go ahead, go ahead.
no, no, you're good, you're good. But that's why I'm saying, like, it's not even really like if you're bringing food, I'm bringing food. It's more so like if I'm when I say the same thing, it's like I can't expect you to know how to cook and clean if I can't do that for myself
For
in a
sure.
way.
For sure.
So it's like not necessarily saying that like you know if you want to bring food, all right, facts, that's fine. You bringing food, okay? What can I do to help bring and support this thing that we're building and what we got going on? Because if there's somewhere that you're somewhere that I'm lacking and you can support that, okay, we're somewhere that you're lacking so that I can support you. So it kind of goes hand in hand and it coincides in that fact. But when I'm saying just like off the rip, like at least from my standpoint, like when it comes to just dating or talking to somebody, I'm not gonna expect you like, oh, I need a girl that got a six pack. I need a girl to have this and that. I don't even got a six pack. The fuck am I
Right,
talking about?
right, right.
So it's just from like those little standards to where it's like, okay, like lower, like not lower your standards, but like shape your viewpoint and like look at what you can do morally, look at what you can do for this person emotionally, look what you can do for this person as far as just a mindset. It's not necessarily a physical thing. It's never love is never about physical. It's a
Word.
feeling, it's an emotion,
Right.
and it's about what we can help and build to each other because we're combining our lives here. So like, at least for me, for my mistake was just always like, I'm looking for it in the wrong person too early, because that first conversation was like, oh, you're looking for what I'm looking for. This is great. Let's do this. Let's run off. And that's not reality. I'm giving too much of myself too early to where I'm really ready to show what I can give and what I can offer, but it's not being reciprocated. That person's not receptive to it because they're still having a wandering eye. They're still fixated on what more they can get and what more they can do. And it's no shock to anybody when it comes to that, because I've even been flawed in that in my own experiences where I say one thing, but then yeah, I'm doing another. But it's like,
Yeah.
even for me, like, this is where we can kind of get in a conversation about mistakes. Like, that was my biggest mistake. It's just giving too much of myself too early, showing too much of myself too early, to where it may not be wrong as far as what I'm giving or what I'm showing, but you don't know how exactly that can be reciprocated or how that can be received by the other person. That may scare them off. They may not feel ready for that. They may not even be in the mental capacity to even handle or face what you got going on.
So my question to you with that is, because I believe, like, how do I say this? This might be a weird analogy, right? But in nature there's no wrong, right? So when you look at, like, I don't know, like a species of bird, like, yeah, maybe 2,000 years ago this bird couldn't swim, but now you have like this evolution of birds that now can either go underwater or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah.
hey, like the same exact species 3 and 4,000 years ago didn't do it, couldn't do it, but now we can. I apply that to this because it's like, hey, yes, these 2 or 3 women might not have took it that way, but what happens when the one is okay with you being so vulnerable, so open, and exploiting yourself so early, but you didn't and you held back? Now, instead of having the conversation of, well, or having that self thing of like, oh, well, I gave myself too early, now you find yourself having a conversation of, oh, well, she's telling me that I'm not giving enough of me, of her, of yourself to her. You get what I'm saying?
No,
Like, what do you do
absolutely.
in that situation? Like, how do you choose? Like, what are you doing now today that is deciphering that middle ground?
So, wrong person, right lesson. I was
Right.
doing nothing that I was doing was necessarily wrong. It was just to the wrong person. Now the mistake falls in not really taking not taking this, like, the time to really understand who I was dealing with, or take the time to really have those real raw conversations. Because if I feel like we're just agreeing on what we're doing and what this is, like, I like you, you like me, well, this is what I want to do, this is where I want to be. All right, cool. You don't gotta say too much to me. I'm ready, but I'm ready knowing that I've been ready. But at the same time, that other person may not be, and they may sound or seem like they are, but I'm not asking those questions to really break down or really like look through that magnifying glass and see exactly what they're actually thinking. And that's where, like, for me, it's like, yeah, going into like my, like, current situation with, like, what I'm doing. It's like, no, I'm ready to do that. I'm willing to do that, and I'm going to do that. There's no hesitation behind anything that I'm doing. It's just now in the phases of how we're having these conversations, and it's in the phases of how we're dating. It's not like I have to. I'm okay with doing the flowers. I'm okay with doing the dates. I'm okay with just, doing the, acts of service and the, words of affirmation, and like how we're going to get into that love language conversation. Um, but it does come with phases. It comes with a feel. It's like a flow state where you kind of now don't think about it too much. You do it, but it's like, oh shit, like, this is work. Like, this is working. Like, I look back now. I can look back on a couple of weeks and be like, yeah, I see the difference. I see how, like, now I kind of understood where I did mess up, and like I've applied it differently, but it's still the same method. Nothing about me has changed. It's just more so now my progressions. I'm not jumping into anything too quick. We don't have to have the conversation of marriage in the first 3 months. Let's not even think about that. Let's think about, how we want to date each other in these next 3 months. Let's think about how we want to talk or communicate to each other in these next 3 months. Let's talk about how we feel about each other in these next 3 months. Yeah, sure, you may want to get married. I may want to get married, but we don't have to have that conversation like day one.
Yeah, I think that just ties back to what I was saying earlier when we were talking about the definition of love, and I broke it into two. And I think that, like I said, the backside of it was that safety part. Like a lot of that is what to me when I hear that, a lot of that to me is safety.
Yeah, for sure. And that's we gonna tap into that in a little bit. But you've mentioned love languages a few times. Even now with just this like my little breakdown as far as just my mistakes and everything. I've talked about love languages, and that is a common thing now in today's culture as far as just who has a specific one or how do you show your specific one. For you though, bro, like what is your love language, and what did it take for you to learn what it was? And I asked the following question behind that. But for you, what is your current love language, or what is your love language, and what did it take for you to?
Probably big on probably to be honest with you, I'm probably big on gift giving, which is crazy. Uh,
Yeah, trick, yeah. So not
it's not tricking it's yours.
fact.
I would say, yeah, probably gift giving, or acts of service, and I'll probably end off with like words of affirmation. And the reason why is because if anybody, if I rock with you, you know that like if I find something dope, or if I like come across something dope, if I make something dope, any something like that, I'll give it to you for nothing, right? And that's just who I am. Like if I know you and I rock with you, and this goes for like that's why I say it's a love language, so you can break it down to everybody, right? I know you and I rock with you. If I find something, I'm grabbing it. Yo, I think I rock with Jalen. I just found this Houston Astros hat. I'm gonna just get it off the strength, right?
Yeah,
I don't think twice. I don't think twice about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh shit, like I know Jalen. He oh shit, look at this Fantastic Four joint. Hey, he can add his joint. I don't even you know what I'm saying? Like, and that in my relationship is like amplified. Like I don't think twice about that. Like, oh yeah, she likes this. Let me go ahead and grab that. Here go this. Like, and as a creative, it's like the same way. I'm always thinking like, what's the next creative thing that I can do to like, I don't know. I'm just like a real like one-on-one type person. Like I'm a really just find something dope. I'm a we talked about this before as far as like music. Like it's the same thing. Like I'm gonna find something dope. I'm gonna find something that like if this ends and it's kind of like oh yeah well you're not ever getting this again because you can't find it nowhere, right?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
so I would say yeah definitely gift giving, um, gift giving, acts of service, and then words of affirmation. And words of affirmation is something I grew into because me and my shorty today, like we practice that now more often. And because I would also consider words of affirmation getting closer to God, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does it have to be something that
So
we? Does it have to be sit down where we write down, "Hey, I am a successful relationship. Hey, we are a successful relationship." It's not something that we both saying to each other. It could be
mhm.
something like, on Sunday for free, let's have a little Bible study. Hey, let's study this passage together. What did this passage mean to you? What did the passage mean to me? How do we take this passage and apply it to our relationship? Words of affirmation, right?
Mhm.
So, uh, definitely those three. I think it took me probably a lot of heartbreak, but I think at the end of the day, it took a lot of just finding out who I was. Because I think that love languages come with, again, like you already said, knowing who you are. What was your third question again? It was, what's your love language?
No, you good. You're cool. I was going to ask the third question. I can kind of just go into explaining like mine, and then I'll
Yeah,
tie it in with the third question. Saying like it definitely changed as I got older. I think on some like young boy type of stuff, like it was like physical touch and everything, and that's just because niggas be whatever. But as you actually like as I got older and as I got to learn myself, um, bro, I'm real I'm real simple though. Like acts of service was a big one for me because I really realized how much I really just love doing stuff for people. Um, at first, like I didn't think that that was me, but like even within my last relationship, and even like just now as I got older, being around family, being around friends, being around just people that I love, I'll do whatever for them if I can in any way, shape, or form. Um, it doesn't have to be a financial thing, and if it is a financial thing, I'm not thinking about it just because that's just that's just what it is. Um, and also just quality time. I love spending time with my people. Like I love spending time with my person. I love spending time with my mama. I love spending time with my cousins. I love spending time with my friends. It doesn't matter in what space. It doesn't matter how much time we can do it. Even just like right now, being able to be on here talking to you, bro. Like this is like
Word.
pause. It's a love language though. Like it's just in a
Yeah,
way like
bro,
I'm spending time with somebody that I truly got love for.
for
Um,
sure.
even with that, I feel like all five of them in some way, shape, or form, you definitely do feel them. You definitely do have
Oh
them,
yeah,
and they do mean something to you. For me, those two definitely are profound and just in my everyday life. As far as just I'm looking at all of my relationships, not just one specific one. But for you now, I mean, we can both answer this too. How with the five love languages and with the ones that you prefer, how do you apply them to your everyday life?
yeah. So again, for me, it might be a little bit more easier because, like I said, I got young bulls, so like I don't think
That's a
that
fact.
that
Yeah.
yeah that switch kind of never turns off, and I don't like me and my woman. We don't live together, so like if that was the case, it would be more on all the time. But like with the kids, there's it's really on all the time, right? So um, I think with all five and being a dad, I have to kind of like you in a weird way. Those five are kind of attached to leading by example, right? Because I know that like hey acts of service like hey like teaching my kids acts of service like hey I'm going to do this for you, right? Hey I'm going to show you how to do this, or hey I'm going to take you here. Those acts of service, like the physical touch with your kids, the hugs, right? Telling them you did a good job, like all that type of stuff. And and those are also words of affirmation for kids. So like I would say like a little bit of all five are always on display for me as a father. So I think that's easier. That because I would say with that when I had no kids, like I was, bro, like I always say like 29-year-old Q looking back at like 18, 19-year-old Q,
Mhm.
bro, dog. I was a wall, bro. Like, like you wasn't getting in. Like, as far as like a partner, like it was here. Like you wasn't getting my feelings. You wasn't getting nothing. Like I wasn't doing nothing. Like right. So I think now the love languages as you get older and mature. Like I said, outside of the kids, you also mature because you also have to realize it's a vulnerability thing, right?
Right.
So kind of like what I just said, like, hey, I know Jalen, that's my brother. If I'm randomly out and about and I see, some Houston National shit, I might just pick it up and just, throw it in his mitt. Like, yo, I'll grab his joint for you. I'm not thinking twice of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I can be
Real
anything.
life. Real
Yeah.
life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, no pun though. Like that's just how I am, right? But the reason why I say it's vulnerability is because I had to let go of that mindset of, well, damn, what are other people gonna think? You know what I'm saying? Like, or is this friend gonna think something because I might grab them something, but I didn't grab them nothing? Like, what? Where's the how is the strings gonna be tied here? So, uh, with that being said, that also comes with how do I say this? That also comes with like being able to uh diversify where your love languages are applied the most versus where they're not, right? So I have like you gotta have like friends and family to where it's like I still rock with y'all, but hey, I know you like the Knicks. If I see some Knicks shit, I'm not grabbing it. Like, right? Because I mean, I rock with you, but we're not on that
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
I think it's also like a vulnerability thing, whereas it's like, hey, I don't want somebody like it's like I don't know. I can't really explain it, but I just know that like overall all aspects like I rock with you because it's a safety thing, and I rock with you because we got that bond. So like my acts of service will come out naturally. Like it's not again, it's going back to my kids. Like it's just natural shit that I just do. Like and I guess like learning those love languages and like I said, being a father, they kind of helped me tr- progress it into other relationships, whether that be friendships, or whether it be like even with my woman, just overall, like that just helped a lot.
No, for sure. And but you said it though. Like depending, not depending on the relationships, but your relationships will depend on what love language is required.
Yes,
So like
exactly.
for your kids, like they'll require all five in some way, shape, or form. Even if they may not necessarily ask for it, they need that. They need to understand what physical touch is, as far as just being able to be hugged on and like loved on by by their mom or by their dad. They're going to need the words of affirmation to know that they did a good job or they're doing something right, or even if they're doing something bad and they need to chill the fuck out.
Yeah, for
Um,
real.
or acts of service. Like less okay, like I'm going to make you your favorite meal, or I'm buying you a cake for your birthday or something like that. Gift giving, of course. Kids love getting gifts, so you can't go without that.
Right.
And that's not even just necessarily about kids, but just for that example, for your partner, all five, that's required in any capacity. That's required. And as you get navigate through your life as you get older, you tend to understand which one means the most to you and which ones you hold on to. But like with friends, like I know for my guys at least, it's like the quality time and the really it's just the quality time. Like for
Yeah.
us, like for guys, we don't need much. But like being able to have that quality time, and then sometimes words of affirmation too, to let y'all know, like even if we in a bad spot, yo, like I'm not. I need somebody to give me something. Like whether it's I'm praying for you, whether I'm just like, nah,
Right.
nigga, like you got this. Like tighten up, you cool. Like that's all gonna work out. Same thing with just your parents. Like I know for me and my mom, like for my mom, all five is still required for her. Like
Right.
she'll let me know for sure. With where I'm lacking at, and even for me, I'll do the same thing. But it definitely comes within its phases. It definitely comes within its moments in life. But love languages is the key. I feel like it's a great breakdown on how you can just even view your relationships and like which one is lacking and which one is you're doing too much in. Can't have too much physical touch without too much acts, too many words of affirmation.
For sure.
How are you even going to mesh that?
For
You
sure.
know. So I definitely love the idea of them. I didn't for a long time, but in a healthy capacity, in a healthy conversation, it does make sense. But to wrap all of this up, man. First of all,
That's it.
before we get into the final part of this episode, make sure that you like, comment, subscribe. Let us know how you feel about love languages. Let us know what yours is. Do we care? Probably not, but we do love to know exactly like where you guys are with it and how you assessed it. But I'm just joking with y'all. Definitely do care about how y'all feel. Definitely care about what your love languages is, and even just how you feel about this episode. But to wrap this all up, we bring segments back to open the mind. I know it's been
Eh,
a little, I know it's been a little while since we have done this before, but this is my personal favorite one. We're going to do this or that. So ask questions, ask two different scenarios into a question form, and you just gonna let me know which one you rocking with the most. So I
right.
got 11 questions here for you today, bro. Let me know whenever you're ready to start.
Let's rock it.
All right. So for the first one, this or that, forgive and rebuild, or walk away for peace.
Walk away for peace.
All right. That's a valid answer. I'll choose the same one. Uh, fight for love or let it go naturally.
I gotta let it go naturally.
Yeah, even if it was like the relationship like meant something, even if you feel like it maybe worth fighting for.
See, these are like extra caveats. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So
you got
like,
it's open to mind though, brother. You gotta really think about it.
no, but like, cause like even the last one, like it just depends. Like, so, but I'm not trying to think like that. I'm trying to just take it at like face value. Like,
Okay,
if I just take it at face value, it's definitely walk away
yeah. So
or
this is
let or
so
yeah walk away whatever.
yeah, and we can keep it at face value. And like I think the only reason why I have these questions tailored like this is because I know how I think. So I'm always gonna be like, shit,
Yeah,
well, whatever. But
that's
it
what I'm
is, what I'm
saying.
saying. But it is open to mind. So it's like if you do want to kind of tap into like a deeper explanation, you're more than welcome to. But if you want to look at it face value,
Yeah,
hey, it is what it is,
I'm
bro.
keeping it at face value because the thing about even those last two drones, we can combine them and that'll be another 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So
It
it's
would,
like
it would, it would, it would, it would. You're
I
right.
gotta
For
take it at
time's
face.
sake. For time's
Right, I
sake.
gotta take
No.
it at face.
All right. So, question 3: a love that feels safe or a love that feels electric?
Oh, safe, easy. What the hell is a love that feels electric?
That should give you a different type of feeling, a different type of spark. But again, that is very
I'm gonna go
unsafe
safe.
because that's the one that can sweep you from under your feet and then you hit your head like what the fuck happened. Um, closure, conversation, or silent moving on.
Damn, low key feel both a little bit.
Mhm.
All right, I can't be this dry. Let me go with. I'm gonna go with closure conversations.
All right, that's a good one. I agree. I feel like I know what you're gonna pick for this one. Long distance love or no love at all.
I don't love it all. If I keep it real.
Yeah, fuck that. All right. These last what we got? These okay. So I got a few more, but these are gonna be around like growth and more reflection for you. A love that challenges you or a love that comforts you.
I mean, you want both, but if I take
Definitely
it
want
at face
both.
value, I'm gonna say one that challenges for sure.
All right. Being chosen or choosing wisely.
Choosing wisely.
Great answer. Learning through heartbreak or learning through stability.
That's tough.
Yeah,
That for sure is a both, John. Cause like I've learned through heartbreak, but like I just said right now, with a great, overly great relationship, I'm learning through stability too. So, uh, I don't think one exists. I don't think one exists without the other.
so let me ask them, would you be the person that you are to would you be the person that you were for your relationship if it wasn't for heartbreak?
No, no, not at all.
So you kind of had to go through the heartbreak to even be in a space to have the relationship of stability or the stable
But now that
relationship
but now that I'm in a relationship of stability, my knowledge didn't stop. I didn't stop learning.
tomato tomato.
That's what I said. You can go both ways. Like the relationship that I'm in now today. Like we just got over some shit. Like we don't like we still learn.
That's fair. All right, so loving someone for who they are or who they could be.
They gotta be for who they are, because you could easily mistake for them for who they could be. They could never turn out to be that.
That's a fact. Some people, they have a lot of potential, but they never get potenched.
Exactly.
Um, all right. Last two: fight to grow together or gracefully accept growing apart.
Ooh, that's a great one. Fight to grow together or gracefully grow apart. I'm probably gonna go with gracefully grow apart.
All right. And last but not least, a short love that transforms you or a slow love that lasts.
Slow love that lasts easily.
All right.
Easily slow love that lasts.
All right, man. Well, then that wraps up the first segment for season 2. Plenty more that we're going to do in these future episodes that we have here. But again, appreciate everybody for tapping into episode 2. If you haven't got the book, hey, we still got time. So go ahead and grab that the productivity mindset. If you want to be able to just join in on the read with us, um,
Actually,
but please.
actually, you know what, bro? We just talked a long time about, you know what I'm saying, love languages. We're encouraging the fans to, you know, tap in with us and catch up. Listen, go ahead and clip this joint up. If you tap in with us, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys comment under this exact video. Not the Instagram post, because I'm going to make an Instagram post. Not the Instagram post. I need to make sure you comment under this exact video. That way I know you're on that way I know you're on the YouTube page.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw your name in a comment. I want y'all all to comment. I want y'all all to comment. I believe in me under this video. So obviously I'm gonna make a clip, but under the actual YouTube video, comment. I believe in me. We gonna throw your name in a raffle. Let me just buy you this drawing and give it to you for free, gang.
All right, there we go. Hey, I like that. Matter of fact, next month,
Bet. Atomic Habits
next
on
yeah,
Atomic Habits on Open About.
on us. So there you go. There we only got to see too much after that. Like, comment, subscribe, please, please, please. If you're watching this video, like you said, comment "I believe in me," or just comment what your favorite part about this episode was. Um, Real quick, going into Valentine's Day, I just want to say, whether you have a Valentine, whether you don't, Valentine's Day is a day about love. It's a day about loving yourself, loving your loved ones, and who you have around you. Don't get fed into this whole capitalistic shit of buying gifts and all the flowers and all the chocolates and all the dates. That's a great token to your appreciation for who you may have in your life, but it's not what it's always about. So if you don't have a Valentine, shoot, take yourself out on a date. You know what I'm saying? Cater to yourself. Maybe go get a massage. Maybe go, to your favorite restaurant. Go watch a movie. If you got your parents still with you, hey, show some love to your mama. Show some love to your dad. They're still around. Give them that same love while they're here. Grandparents alike. If you got kids,
I
take your
agree.
kids out. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Yes,
not
sir.
about having a date. It's not about having a person. Of course, those things are nice and those things are beautiful, but it's a perception thing. What do you have in front of you that you can truly love holistically and the love that you can get to that person? So, little insight going into the weekend. But from my brother Q, from me, we appreciate you guys every week tapping in here with us. Episode 2, we out.
And just a quick sidebar, if you real, Valentine's Day is all year round, you heard?
Yes, sir.